All right, that's it. Some beautiful highlights from the Africa Cup of Nations. We'll talk more about that as we go on. And of course, we were talking about the Nigeria Professional Football League before we went on break. We'll come back to it and discuss some issues around some of the games. But before we do that, I'm told that our friend, Sonny Young, who brings a lot of sunshine to our shows all the way from Washington, is standing by. And Sonny has a lot of stories to talk to us about. But Sonny, let me ask you, Williams against Williams, Grand Slam final, there can only be one winner.
Only one winner, Toyin. First of all, great to be back on Sports Tonight. Always a pleasure to chat with you and to see your many Sports Tonight viewers all across Nigeria. The Williams sisters, I don't think they were expected to meet each other at this stage of the year's first Grand Slam event. Maybe Serena. I think a lot of people picked Serena to make it to the final, but Venus has just been a really pleasant surprise down under. 36 years old, Toyin. She is the oldest player to make it to the final of the Australian Open. If you ask me who am I going with, I got to go with youth. I'll go with the 35-year-old younger sister, Serena, simply because I think Serena realizes her chances of getting that elusive 23rd career Grand Slam title. As she ages, I think the opportunities become maybe less frequent. I'll go with Serena to win down under. But, yeah, it's a great storyline. I think it's been 8 years since the Williams sisters last met in a Grand Slam final. Interestingly, Toyin, we got Roger Federer on the men's side. He's no spring chicken when it comes to he's 35, which is relatively old for a top-notch professional tennis player. Federer could very well win his 18th career Grand Slam title, the most by any male player. So some great storylines in Australia.
Sonny, let's move from tennis, talk a little bit of basketball, and I'll allow you to also say some things about the Africa Cup of Nations that's currently going on.
Well, let me give two quick shout-outs for a couple of NBA players, Toyin. Russell Westbrook, our friend Austin, he likes to say that Westbrook should be tested for alien DNA because of all the triple-doubles he produces. And last night, he produced another triple-double. It was his 60th career triple-double. Let me see if I can get the statistics right. 27 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists as the Thunder beat the Pelicans 114-105. He passed Larry Bird with that 60th career triple-double. Westbrook has been averaging this season a triple-double. That is double figures in 3 different statistical categories. Another quick shout-out for Marc Gasol, Spanish player. His brother, Pau Gasol, plays for the San Antonio Spurs. Marc Gasol had a career-high 42 points last night. And the Grizzlies, the Memphis Grizzlies, they beat the Toronto Raptors 101-99. So those are a couple of the stars from last night. And one quick shout-out for my Washington Wizards, Toyin. They have won 14 consecutive games at home in their home arena. So the Wizards are starting to play some magical basketball.
At home. Well, Sonny, let me bring you to Africa very quickly. I'm sure you must be disappointed that your favorite, I remember you said that Algeria will be champions.
I have to eat some crow tonight, Toyin. I got to eat maybe 2 helpings of crow because I thought the Desert Foxes from Algeria were going to go a lot farther in Gabon. A big disappointment. I would rate Algeria and probably defending champion Ivory Coast both out of the tournament as maybe the 2 biggest disappointments from this 31st Cup of Nations. I got caught up in that Riyad Mahrez hoopla. Because he was named African Footballer of the Year right before the tournament kicked off, and I I guess I thought the Algerians would play with a little more passion, a little more, but they were a big disappointment. One team I do like in Gabon right now, Democratic Republic of Congo. They've had a good run. I think they play Ghana next in the quarterfinals. So that should be a great match. Another great match, Senegal versus Cameroon. I like Senegal in that match, Toyin. But yeah, I would say in terms of disappointments, I'll put Algeria there as well as Ivory Coast.
Well, Sonny, now that we are down to the quarterfinals and you've got to change your mind about who you think will win, who are you putting your money on?
Well, I mentioned a couple of them. I'm going to go with my first pick. I'm going to go with the Leopards from the Democratic Republic of Congo. They were semifinalists 2 years ago when they lost to Ivory Coast. I like the way they played with a lot of spirit. I'm going to go with them. My number 2 pick to win will be Senegal. Those are my 2 picks for the trophy on February 5th.
Let's hope you're right, Sonny. Let's hope you're right. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Toyin. And if I'm wrong, well, I'll eat some more crow.
All right. So that's Sonny, our good friend from Washington. We'd like you to talk to us as well. What do you think about the last 8 teams in the competition, and who will you be putting your smart money on to be the new champions of Africa, to be the new kings of Africa? We'll read your thoughts, your comments out to all those who are watching all across the globe. All right, guys, let's come back to what we were talking about before we went on the break. We took the reaction of Atai Amal, and he said something about this season being a very, very open season. You go anywhere, you get your results. At home, it's not guaranteed that you win if you don't play well. And I remember that yesterday, ABS, through Yinka Wulewa, commended referee Ben Ode, who handled their game against Lobby Stars. They lost the game by 3-0, but they commended the referee, that the referee was on point, it was world class, it was free, firm, and fair. But I'm not happy with Kano Pillars, who are assuming that in a game, you can't have 2 penalty calls against you because of their game against Sunshine. And for me, the referee in that game is Nigeria's best referee that I almost can vouch for at all times, Ferdinand Dudo, who says you can't get 2 penalty calls against you in one game. We've seen 2 penalties, 3 penalties given to one team in a game.
That's very wrong. I was jokingly telling you of a particular game where a guy lost 3 penalties inside 90 minutes, Palermo, the Argentine. There's a game between Brazil and Argentina.
United had 3 penalties against Liverpool, or was it Liverpool against United?
Ronaldo scored 3 penalties, against Argentina. Even at the World Cup, Italia 90, England, Cameroon, they were awarded 2 penalties.
Messi scored 2 against us at the Holland 2005.
So, I mean, there's no reason to think that the referee was biased. Penalties results from you doing some things you shouldn't do, and if you do it 100 times, you're going to get 100 penalties.
If the referee wants to give it,
if the referee decides
100 times, you can be penalized
as long as you fall foul of the law. And you see, I don't think things like that should be getting out. If you feel
the LMC will have to help us to stem such wild accusations.
And I don't think every time you lose, it should be because the referee didn't do well. And that's why I must commend ABS for what their media officer said. Despite losing that game, coming out to say the ref was good. That's the spirit of sportsmanship. You can't win all the time. It's not possible. There are games that you will lose. But you see, when we keep shifting the goalpost and say, I lost because.
They gave 2 penalties against me. What if they were deserved?
You still feel that it's a function of the environment in which we are, where everything is treated with suspicions.
And blame game.
Blame game. Let me give you another one. Shooting Stars get a late penalty
against MFM.
There are theories. Remo Stars get a late one against Abia. There are theories everywhere.
And people were saying, a lot of people on social media are saying late penalties.
So is it a crime to award late penalties?
Arsenal against Burnley, we had 2 penalties in added time.
7 minutes of added time. So if it is a penalty, it is a penalty. It is as simple as ABC. That's
not minding the time.
I always blame this on something. If we still have our games on television, nobody will come out and say this.
I think that's a long-term solution.
I'm not even asking for live games. If we can sit back, look at the highlights of the game, then we analyze it also ourselves, then we know. We are not referees, but at least we should be able to judge.
You form your opinion.
So television is very key in all of this. Because if you are here in Lagos and someone in Kano tells you this is what happened, you don't have any other choice than to believe all that happened.
Guys, to wrap up this discussion, because our time is really running, I want to make a suggestion to the Nigerian Football Federation. Let's learn some of the good things from abroad. As you said, all games, even if they are not live on TV, all games should be
packaged
on tape.
Yes.
There is a referee review committee that will sit down at the end of a game with the referee and review every action that the referee takes to find out what the referee was thinking when he was taking those decisions. And it helps them to be better.
Of course.
We need to begin to do that as well.
Yeah.
In the spirit of fairness, you don't rely just on accusation or public opinion to say a referee didn't do well. You know, you have the match commissioner's report, you have the home and away team, probably they have their cameramen there. So you need 3 or 4 sources, and like the one that you just said now, you sit down in the spirit of fairness, you look at all of those avenues, then you'll be able to judge fairly if a referee didn't do well. Then for the fans as well, you know, because sometimes some of these rumors need to be quashed one way or the other. When you, for instance, when we were talking about the game involving Remo and you saw the pictures. I had a different opinion before I saw the pictures. When I saw the pictures, you know, but then again, you know that all of those things, there's still that tiny fraction of that human element in football that you can't always take away. And like Dunodi Okoto said the other time, these guys have to make a decision in 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And sometimes some of these things will happen not because they just want one side to win a particular game.
So maybe all of us will finally come to agree to what the future is for refereeing. There's video evidence to help referees to take these crucial decisions, because the human error is beginning
especially game-changing decisions.
That's the point.
That begs the question also. Is Nigeria football ready for video technology?
Video replay. I mean, once it starts, it will cut like wildfire. So I think that's the future, really, to help us take better decisions with officiating. All right, I think we're done now with the league. Tomorrow we'll be giving you a preview of match day 5, and I can tell you there will be a lot of exciting games for you to look forward to. MFM is hosting Kano Pillars in Lagos. That's a massive game on Sunday, and the game is going to be live on cable TV. The right owners will be bringing us pictures of those games. So I'm sure a lot of people will want to watch and see if MFM first game 3-0 at home, second game 4-0
away from home.
No, 4-0 at home.
Okay, at home.
3-0 against Tornadoes, 4-0 against Lobby. Pillars, could be 5. Anything can happen. All right, but you need to be at the Agege Stadium on Sunday to see things for yourself. All right, let me read a few comments on Twitter before we go on break, and then we'll talk about the Africa Cup of Nations. Israel Akinlawon says, Senegal is unstoppable. They are the most formidable team I have seen in this competition. It says Ghana's problem is a striker and a goalkeeper. I don't really agree. Their goalkeeper was magnificent against Mali, and the goal he conceded against Egypt could beat anybody, really.
There's
nothing you could do about that. Tony Akiode at Niger Fans says the quarterfinals will be the end of the Black Stars of Ghana. Don't write off the Black Stars. Don't write them off. Although there are doubts about Asamoah being able to continue, and that's a massive blow to Ghana. But
they've already lost Baba Rahman.
They've lost Baba Rahman, and now Asamoah is struggling. But anything can still happen in a game of football. Chie Dozier Ebe at Doziesos says Australian Open is proving to be like fine wine that is getting better with age. The Williams sisters on one side and a potential Federer Nadal clash on the other one. All right, so that's what we're expecting. It's I call it old school finals. But then throwback. I think I like that one as well. Throwback finals. Let's see what these guys can produce. A slower version, older version of these guys. We'll see how it pans out. But Nadal still has a job to do before we can talk about taking Federer on in the final. I think we have to pause now for a little break. When we return, we'll spend time to talk about the 2017 Africa Cup of Nations, and of course, a little bit of tennis before we bring on Femi Adefeso.